Welcome to the course UEC 001. In the previous module, we have discussed various types of biasing methods in order to make my operating point stable. Now, in this module, we will see briefly the comparison among the different biasing methods. Okay, so these are the methods we have discussed: fixed bias method, emitter bias methods, and voltage divider bias method, which is also known as the self bias. So these three methods we have discussed in the details. So for the comparison purpose, we have selected following parameters: the circuit diagram, stability factor, input current, and the load line. First one method is the fixed bias. So this is the circuit diagram where this resistance RB and this VCC, these two are being used as a biasing elements. However, in case of emitter bias, an additional feedback resistance RE is used. So for this voltage divider bias, two resistances R1 and R2 are used, and there are two methods for the analysis: exact and approximate. Over here, the condition of approximation is like that: beta multiplied by RE is greater than or equals to 10 times of R2. So if this condition satisfied, then such type of circuit can be solved with the approximate method, and there is hardly a 10% variations in the result. So we will see in the numerical section this comparison also. And if this condition is not satisfied, then we are bound to solve this type of network using exact analysis. So there are several attributes which we have considered. So the first one is the stability factor. So if you can check, this is my stability against reverse saturation current, and for fixed bias it is 1 plus beta. So somehow if we are taking the value of beta is 100, where the typical value of beta lies between 50 to 250. So you can check this stability factor is 101, okay, which is very poor. However, on the other side, in the emitter bias, it is 1 plus beta divided by something at that quantity is greater than 1. So stability factor of emitter bias is better in comparison to the fixed bias. Now you can check for the voltage divider bias. There is a case of approximation conditions where stability factor is S equals to 1. In this scenario, the analysis is entirely independent to beta and base current IB, because over here the typical value of base current is 0, whereas for other biasing methods, by applying KVL to the input loop, one can easily find the value of base current, and respective value of base currents have been mentioned over here. Then the last parameter which we have used over here for the comparison is the load line analysis. So as you know that for a load line, it's a simple straight line, and a line can be drawn if we have the informations of 2 points. So here information of 2 point is mentioned over here: VCC and 0 VCC upon RB. So these are the 2 points for fixed bias. Likewise, the remaining points for DC load lines have been given over here. Okay, so ultimately what we can say that uh, among the three methods, voltage divider bias method is most practically used for the amplification purpose, because it provides the stability S equals to 1 in approximate analysis, and this is ideally suitable. So let's solve example number 1, and the statement is: if value of alpha is given as 0.98, if value of reverse saturation current IC B0 is given as 12 microampere, and the value of base current IB is given as 120 microampere, then calculate the value of emitter current IE and also find beta. So this is the database given: alpha, reverse saturation current for common base configuration, and IB. So if you can recall, for the solution part, we have discussed current IC equals to alpha times of current IE plus ICBO. This is the relation we have used. Now we have to find the value of current IE and beta. So let's start with the analysis of beta. We know that the term beta equals to alpha upon 1 minus alpha. So as alpha is given 0.98, so if we put 0.98 upon 1 minus 0.98, and if we are solving this term, so this becomes 0.98 divided by 0.02, and beta has a value of 49. So for this database, my beta is 49. And if I am replacing this IC with the formula IC equals to IE minus IB. So let's see, IE minus IB equals to alpha times of IE plus ICB naught. Or effectively, we can rearrange the terms. So I am taking this IE common also. 1 minus or 1 minus alpha equals to IB plus ICB naught. Effectively, I will have the value of IE equals to 1 upon 1 minus alpha times of IB plus 1 upon 1 minus alpha times of ICB naught. So you can check 1 upon 1 minus alpha term. This will be equivalent to 1 plus beta. So you can verify by your own. So I'm just using this relation over here because I'm having the value of beta also. Or you can also calculate in terms of alpha because alpha is directly given. So it is 1 plus beta into IB plus 1 plus beta into ICB naught. Now I am putting the value. So it is 50 multiplied by IB is given as 120 microamperes. So 120 into 10 raised to power minus 6 plus value of ICB naught is given and it is 12 microampere. So it is 50 into 12 into 10 raised to power minus 6. So ultimately my answer is emitter current IE equals to 6.6 milliampere. So let us discuss another problem, problem number 2, and the statement is given as the emitter current IE is given as 10 milliampere for a transistor, value of alpha DC is given as 0.99, reverse saturation current for common base configuration ICB naught is given as 10 microampere, and you have to determine the value of IC and IB. We need to find the values of these two components. So let's directly start with the solution. It is a straightforward problem. IC equals to alpha times of IE plus ICB naught. So directly on putting the value 0.99 multiplied by 10 into 10 raised to power minus 3 plus 10 into 10 raised to power minus 6. So by solving this quantity, we will have the value of IC equals to 9.91 milliampere. So IC we have calculated, IE was given. Now we can use the term IE equals to IC plus IB. Therefore, my base current IB will be equals to 10 milliampere. That is my IE minus 9.91 milliampere, which is my IC. So value of IB, and usually we prefer to measure the value of base current in microamperes. So value of IB is my 90 microamperes. For the given network, check whereas the transistor is working in active region or in saturation region. So this is very interesting problem. For this numerical, we have to check whereas my transistor is working in active region or in saturation region, and parameters are given as beta is given as 100, VBE set. So if it is working in saturation region, given as 0.8 volt, otherwise normal VBE is given as 0.7 volt. And circuit diagram is like this: collector resistance, emitter resistance, through one base resistance, a 5 volt supply is connected. Remaining values are given as 50 kilo ohm base resistance, NPN transistor is given, this VCC is given as 10 volt, 3 kilo ohms, and emitter resistance is given as 2 kilo. So this is the given network. Also find the operating point. So here meaning of operating point means we have to find the value of ICQ and VCEQ. So for the solution of such type of numerical, let's start with, or in fact there are two methods. So let us discuss method number one. Method number one, A part. So this is the first term. I am assuming that my transistor is working in saturation region. Now we have to do the analysis, and if my assumption is correct, that means we'll have the analysis of saturation. Otherwise, we have to solve the problem for active region. Okay, so let me draw the circuit diagram if it is working in saturation region. So you can see we have discussed in previous module that what will be the working if it is dealing in saturation mode. So here I am not interested right now for the base term. Okay, so if it is saturated, meaning that the transistor will behave like a short circuit. Okay, so that means the value of VCE, if it is not given, we can take this value is 0. Otherwise, for the silicon transistor, the general value we can use 0.2 volt. So if not given, we can take a 0. So this value is 10 volt, 3 kilo ohm resistance is given, and 2 kilo ohm resistance is given. So in this situation, the value of current flowing over here is my IC set. So saturation collector current will flow, okay, if my transistor is working in saturation region. Okay, so I can easily calculate IC set will be equals to this voltage 10 volt divided by 3 kilo ohm plus 2 kilo ohm. So 3k plus 2k, that means 10 divided by 5. So my IC set is simply 2 milliampere. And as IC set is 2 milliampere, so I can now calculate the minimum base current required that move my transistor into saturation region. So my IB min will be equals to IC set divided by beta. So it is simply 2 milliampere divided by beta is given as my 100. So the typical value of IB min, equals to simply 20 microampere. So if my IB min is greater than or equals to 20 microampere, that means my transistor is working in saturation region. Otherwise, my transistor will be working in active region. Okay, so this is the minimum current required. Okay, which is my 20 microampere. Okay, so now for this input loop, apply now. For this input loop, apply KVL. Okay, so it is my VCC minus current IB into RB minus VBE, and I am writing VBE set because we have assumed that we are dealing in a saturation region, minus IE into RE equals to 0. And in this situation, now I can use VCC over here is 5 volt minus IB. RB is given as my 50 kilo ohm. So multiplied by 50 into 10 raised to power plus 3 minus VBE set is given as 0.8 minus, I can replace this IE by 1 plus beta times of IB, and beta is given as 100, so it will be 1 plus 100 into IB multiplied by 2 into 10 raised to power 3 equals to 0. So with this, it is 4.2 minus 50 into 10 raised to power 3 IB minus 202 into 10 raised to power 3 IB equals to 0, or my IB equals to 4.2 divided by 252 into 10 raised to power 3, and this value is my, this is 16.67, this is my 16.67. So the value of IB equals to 16.67 microampere. We have to check now for condition IB should be greater than or equals to IB min. So we have already calculated the value of IB min, it was 20 microampere. So 16.67 is less than 20 microampere. So my condition is invalid. Sorry, my transistor is not working in saturation region. However, it is working in active region. Now let us solve the same by another method. Here we are taking the assumption that my transistor is working in active region. So now we are starting with my transistor is working in active region, applying KVL and try to calculate the value of base current, and over here value of base current is 17 microampere. So if IB equals to 17 microampere, one can easily calculate the value of IC. It is beta times of IB, and value of IE, it is simply 1 plus beta times of IB. So now I am having the result, it is 1.71 milliampere, which is my IC, and IE equals to 1.717 milliampere. So with the information of IB, we have calculated the value of IC and IE. Now apply KVL to the output loop. Apply KVL to the output loop. 10 minus 3 into 10 raised to power 3 multiplied by IC, and IC is 1.71 into 10 raised to power minus 3 minus VCE minus 2 into 10 raised to power 3 multiplied by IE, and IE is 1.717 into 10 raised to power minus 3 equals to 0. And by solving this, we will have the value of VCE equals to 1.436 volts. Value of VCE is 1.436 volt. As my transistor was NPN, my transistor was NPN, and value of VCE is positive. This means that my transistor is working in active region. Transistor is working in active region. Now for the verification, let me draw the output characteristics by which you will get the idea. So this is my IC in terms of milliampere. This is my VCE in terms of volts. Now I am drawing the output characteristics of NPN transistor. So you can see that on different values of input base current, this was my curve. This was my curve. And in fact, this particular threshold voltage is, this is my VCE set. And typically this VCE set practically it has a voltage 0.2 volt, or in ideal case one can take this value as 0. So if for NPN transistor my value of VCE, if this is positive, that means my transistor is working somewhere in this region, which is my active region. Okay, so analysis says that as the value of VCE is positive for NPN transistor, that means my transistor is working in active region. So as my transistor is working in active region, one can easily calculate the value of operating point, and you can check we have already measured that term. Okay, so my base current was 17 microampere. So this is my IBQ, and ICQ we have calculated. This is my ICQ 1.71 milliampere, and from the characteristics I have calculated VCEQ, and this is my VCEQ. So my operating points are available. In fact, I can write over here IBQ equals to 17 microampere, my ICQ equals to 1.71 milliampere, and my VCEQ equals to 1.436 volts. So these are my operating points. Now let's move to another example. Here it is given as value of beta equals to 100, VCE set equals to 0.2 volt given. Now VBE set is also given, it is given as 0.8 volt. VBE normal is also given as 0.7 volt. Okay, and again you have to check in which mode transistor is working. This supply is given as 5 volt, 50 kilo ohm, 10 volt, 3 kilo ohm resistance, and this is NPN transistor is again given. Okay, so for the solution, that my transistor is working in saturation region. Let's try to solve with this assumption. Okay, so this is my first assumption, and if it is working in saturation region, this means that my circuit will be like this. I'm not interested in base for that. Okay, and now over here there is a supply given rather than a short value. A practical value of 0.2 volt is given. So VCE set is given, and it is 0.2 volt for saturation region. For saturation region. So as we have assumed that my transistor is working in saturation region, so we have to consider this. Now current flowing over here is IC set, and I can easily calculate current IC set. This will be voltage drop across this resistance, okay, divided by the value of resistance. So it is simply my 10 minus 0.2 divided by 3 into 10 raised to power 3. 9.8 divided by 3 to 10 raised to power 3, and this comes up 3.27 milliampere. So value of IC set is my 3.27 milliampere. Now I can easily calculate the value of IB min, and my IB min equals to IC set divided by beta. So this is 3.27 divided by 100. So it is my 32.7 microampere. Now let's verify. Apply KVL to the input loop. Now apply KVL to input loop. KVL to the input loop, and we will have 5 minus 50 into 10 raised to power 3 IB minus 0.8 equals to 0. We are considering VBE 0.8 because now we have to use VB set, because we have taken the assumption that my transistor is working in saturation region. So value of IB will be equals to 4.2 divided by 50 into 10 raised to power 3, and this value is my 84 microampere. So the sufficient condition for saturation region is I have to check whereas my IB is greater than or equals to IC set upon beta or not. So we have checked the value of IB, just calculated 84 microampere, and IC set upon beta, that is my IB min, we have just calculated its value, it is 32.74 microampere. So if my base current is 32.74 microampere, so this is the minimal value at which my transistor will move into the saturation region, and available base current is more than that. So our assumption is correct and my transistor is working in saturation region. As condition is valid, therefore our assumption is correct. This indicates that my transistor is working in saturation region. So we are stopping here. In this module, we have discussed the comparison of various biasing methods, and we have discussed few basic numericals on the transistor. Thank you.